Welcome back to Keep It Basic, this series where I talk to you about the do's and don'ts to growing a beard. I crack down on misinformation and bust myths regarding beard products. This episode, I want to talk to you about vellus and terminal hair. I actually got a bunch of questions from you guys regarding this topic, what you wanted covered in this episode, and I have them right here on my phone. First, I want to go over exactly what vellus and terminal hairs are and what the differences between them. So, vellus hair are the little thin, unpigmented, short hairs that are covering a majority of your body. They don't grow very long, usually only to 1-2 millimeters in length. They're considered immature hairs. Terminal hairs are the longer, coarse, thick hairs that grow usually on your arms, your legs, your chest, your head, and your face. Those are considered mature hairs. Vellus hairs, over time, all of the vellus hairs on your, well, not over time, but all of the vellus hairs on your body have the capability of becoming terminal hairs, which is one of the first topics I want to cover, actually, is do vellus hairs turn in to terminal hairs? And the answer to that question is no, they don't. So, it's a misconception, really. People seem to think that your vellus hairs will thicken and become darker and turn into terminal hairs, and that's not what happens. Actually, what happens is once that hair follicle matures, receives enough androgen hormones, DHT, to become a terminal follicle, the vellus hair will detach and fall out, and in its place, a new terminal hair will grow. So people seem to think you put some products on your face and it'll thicken your vellus hair, and at terminal, that's just not going to happen. So no matter what you put on your face, those vellus will never thicken up and turn into terminal hairs. You have to wait, you have to have time and patience, and eventually they will shed, and in their place, terminal hairs will grow. So that brings me to the next question. How long will it take for my vellus hair to turn into terminal hair? I can't actually answer that question because it's different for everybody. Everybody's different, everybody reacts to products differently, everybody's body is different, obviously. Could take a couple weeks for somebody, could take a couple months for somebody else, it could take over a year for certain people just before they see their vellus hairs turn into terminal hairs. It's just a matter of, your genetics, your lifestyle, the amount of DHT you have in your body. You could have low levels of DHT, it could take forever. You could have very high levels of DHT, it might just happen like that, but it's just matter of having time and patience. There's not really anything you can put, on your face other than Minox that's going to help bring those vellus into terminal. So just have time and patience. Don't get discouraged, and eventually you'll get there. So the next one is getting off Minox a little too soon. It's actually not a question, but it's something I wanted to cover. I see a lot of people. It's whether they get discouraged and they're not seeing the progress that they want, or they see a lot of progress very quickly and they think, oh man, I have a great beard now, I don't need this product anymore. They just get off Minox, and what happens is half the time or most of the time, their beard is made up of mostly vellus hair, and if those vellus hair don't turn terminal before you get off of Minox, it's likely that they're gonna shed, they're gonna fall out, and you're gonna be back to where you started. So don't rush into things. Don't, oh, my beard looks great now, I'm just gonna, I don't need this junk anymore, I'm gonna get right off of it. So you can eventually get off of it, but you have to make sure that those vellus hairs turn terminal before you get off of Minox, or they will likely fall out of your face. So just, if you're not sure, just check them. You can tell by their appearance. They're thinner than your terminal hairs. They're going to be lighter in color, thinner. They're going to be soft to the touch. They're going to be almost silky. Whereas the terminal hairs are very thick and coarse and dark, obviously. And they're going to be stiff. So you can tell just by touching them or by looking at them. If you can't, post a picture on the Minox beard spot. Somebody over there might be able to identify them for you. Let's see, what is the next question? Does shedding mean it will turn terminal? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean it's going to turn terminal. What you have to realize is there are natural hair cycles. There's a natural hair cycle, I should say. And there are different phases that each hair goes through before eventually, at the end of the cycle, the hair detaches and falls out. So just because you have a vellus hair that sheds doesn't necessarily mean that a terminal hair is going to be growing in. It could just be the end of that hair's cycle and new vellus hair could be coming in its place. So if you're doing a lot of shedding, chances are you're getting terminal hairs in, because it's not normal to shed a lot of hairs over a short period of time. So those could be hairs, terminal hairs coming in. Shedding is very, very normal. Everybody sheds. People that aren't even using Minox shed. So if you're noticing some hairs falling out of your beard or out of your head even, it's totally natural. The hairs will grow back. Don't worry about it. But let's go on to the next one. The next one is do supplements such as biotin and beard powder, diatomaceous earth, prevent your vellus from shedding and turning into terminal hairs. And right now, I'm going to tell you biotin does not do that, because biotin only increases the growth rate of your beard. It's not going to thicken your beard. People seem to think it's going to thicken your beard, make your beard grow faster. It's going to stimulate new growth. Doesn't do that. Most it's going to do for you is increase your growth rate. And it's only going to do that if you're deficient in it. Most of us get enough biotin in our diet and don't actually need to supplement it with pills. So that is why I'm saying no, because if biotin prevented vellus hairs from shedding and turning into terminal hairs, none of us would have terminal hairs. We'd all just be a bunch of weird hairless freaks walking around with just covered in tiny vellus hairs just everywhere. It'd just be weird and creepy. It's just not the case, obviously. So that's actually all the questions I got. So if your question was not answered, please drop it in a comment below, and I will try to answer it to the best of my knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and throw a picture up of vellus and terminal hairs over here that was taken by one of our moderators over at the Minox Beard Spot. It's showing both vellus and terminal hairs. We'll go ahead and circle the vellus hairs in green and the terminal hairs in red, so you can see the difference there. And that is all I got. So I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Adam at the Facial Fuzz. He does a lot of great beard videos, a lot of informative videos regarding beard products. He's actually started a new series about fitness. He's trying to eat healthier. He's trying to put on some meat like I should probably do. I'll get there eventually. And Pablo, I want to give a shout out to Pablo. Pablo has a lot of great beard videos as well. He's actually doing an experiment right now with DHT blockers. He's going to nuke one of his arms with a whole bunch of potent DHT blockers to see if it has any effect on the new growth he's gotten as a side effect from Minox. So go ahead and check out both of those channels. They're awesome. And that's all I have. So thank you. The main thing I hear often is that it thickens your beard hair, which it doesn't do that. Well, actually, a lot of beard products, such as beard oils, contain DHT blockers, ironically.